Hi, welcome to Nick's album of the winter 2022. If you watched summer 2021, I thought that I might do one in fall, and I just didn't get around to it. And I didn't find an album that made me sit down and want to record a 4-minute video or however long this is going to be. But this past week, I had an opportunity to go see Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. In the opening act, Adia Victoria and her band kind of caught my attention, and I thought I would use their most recent album that came out last October, which obviously was fall, but I just discovered it this week as Winter Album 2022. So I'm going to tell a train of thought that allowed me to basically recognize and feel like I knew her music from the time that my friend and I walked into the theater and they were on their second song of the show opener. So in 2001, Oh Brother Where Art Thou came out, and it was a really, really important movie to me. Probably of outsized importance to me relative to friends and other people my age. In that movie, artist named Chris Thomas King covers a Skip James song called "Hard Time Killin' Blues," or anyway, it's like this country blues, this D minor stuff that is some of my favorites. So when I got to high school or old enough to search the internet for my own music, I went and found Skip James, and I really, really like that stuff. And at one point, I even had an acoustic guitar that I tuned to open D minor, which is the hallmark of that style of country blues. And so anyway, we walked in, and Adia Victoria was performing a song titled "Mean Hearted Woman," which is the second track on an album called A Southern Gothic. And she mentioned that this title was in response to all of those songs about, from Robert Johnson or Skip James or any blues artist who blamed, the devil's got my woman or whatever. Well, here's the woman's perspective. And so it was almost like I joined a conversation that I had heard before. Also, the title of the album is A Southern Gothic. First of all, I love that it's a Southern Gothic and not just Southern Gothic. I think a lot of artists will just claim to here's the entire genre. Well, no, this album is just part of an entire genre, and I love that tiny little addition to the title. I don't know that it's intentional, but the way that I interpret it, I really respect that. I love all of the references to that entire art form of Southern Gothic, and the artist also cites a lot of Flannery O'Connor, which Wise Blood is probably my most read book. I love Flannery O'Connor's Wise Blood. It's probably my favorite novel. So anyway, it's like I knew this artist before I had heard most of the music, and the entire album just is like, wow, that is perfect. Now, it seems odd that a Southern Gothic album would be album of the winter, but for me, it's a really enchanting, haunted way to engage with a place that's warmer than where I am for the winter. So it incites a lot of hot, humid evenings or night times, and I think that's a fun way to go through the winter. A couple other standout tracks, "My Oh My," there's a really beautiful kind of like a coastal tide coming and going with the way that melody is written. I really love that. And "The Whole World Knows" has been in my head. It's like one of the most haunted, hard truth songs about, struggling with demons and whatnot against the perception or your expectations. It's like struggling with things that you're powerless against expectations. In the song, the narrator or the main character is struggling with drug addiction while living in the household of a father who's a preacher, which, what a contradiction, what a perfect example of the Southern Gothic art form. I love it. I think it's really important art that there's a lot of hope in the pain, right? And so I love the album. there's nothing that I would change. There's nothing that there's no drawbacks. I haven't listened to probably the last 3 tracks as much. The first 8 tracks of the album are perfect. They're really great music. They're great for Sunday morning making breakfast. They're great for sitting up later at night. They're great. They're just good songs, well produced, with great instrumentation and musicianship, and amazing dramatic haunted storytelling from the vocalist. So thanks for tuning in. I don't know if there will be a spring 2022 Nick's album, but check this one out. I bought it from Bandcamp, and I hope you'll do the same. And I will see you next time.